And in the last 5 years, we have worked with over 69,000 families, and we have graduated them out of poverty. I think we commemorated, we celebrated together in the Kenya district. Yeah, we were there. We celebrated together, and you heard about the testimonies of different people who have graduated out of poverty. But in monitoring, we also we have a robust monitoring system called Last Mile Mobile Solution, through which we track the interventions and the impact. So 80% of households we have in our graduation, they have graduated, they have increased the income, and the stunting level is reducing. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
This is child protection and education, and in child protection and education, we are mainly focusing on how we can promote literacy for education. We are targeting lower primary levels of children in terms of improving their reading abilities, but also pre-primary, where we normally focus on positive parenting and prayerful parenting sessions. So we have both interventions at the community level and also at the school level with our interventions in terms of education. And currently, under education, we have USAID-funded project called Uburezi Wacu that is mainly focusing on inclusion. We are also implementing under Food for Education, we are implementing school feeding program by WFP, and also literacy promotion at both primary level and also pre-primary interventions or the children at ECD levels. In education specifically, we are also having a digital literacy intervention that is more interactive and more engaging, that helps children to have the most common literacy skills. Letter knowledge, how does the letters well pronounced. Phonemic awareness, we talk about the sounds. How should we pronounce some of the words and the letters correctly. Fluency, we also want to see how systematically children are running, and also vocabulary and comprehension. And in terms of our measurements, we normally assess the level of reading with comprehension, because that is our aim. We want to see if a child reads, does he or she understands what they are reading. So that's where we normally intervene in terms of education. And we have got a good progress in the reports. There are a lot of achievements through our interventions in terms of education. Then for child protection, we are also focusing mainly ending violence against children. Any form of violence is our main focus. And we have been doing more practical at the school level, where we established child protection clubs at school level so that they can raise awareness to other children in terms of understanding how children can be protected from any forms of violence. From that level, the children, the club members are also doing some of the interventions to bring back some of the children that have dropped out of school. And we have a good practice where we have just visited the clubs, and then they were illustrating some of the cases of children that has dropped out of school because of scholastic materials, and then they join the effort to bring those children back through that awareness. But we are also doing celebrating families, and celebrating families tackles mostly on restoration of the families in terms of conflicts. We have seen most of the children at the school level, they are affected by conflicts in their families, and it affects their learning, it affects their developmental milestones. And then we are training Izu, Inshuti z'Umuryango, and also the families that are living in conflicts. And we have over 600 that has graduated and also accepted to have a legal marriage after going through those sessions of celebrating families. It brings them hope and restoration, and then they come together, and they have also been graduated from UPG, because we want also to give them the full package in terms of spiritual, in terms of physical or developmental milestones. So we have all those interventions, but we also have citizen voice and action as one of our models that brings together service providers and also the citizens to understand some of the policies, some of the standards that they should be getting, and how they can be supported to make sure that the service providers deliver on the standards as required. And you have seen that there is a dialogue where they bring together all the citizens and also service providers, and then they see some of the gaps. They identify the gaps in terms of the delivery of the standards of services, like in health, in WASH, in education, in child. Do they follow the standards? Or do they follow the policies in terms of delivery? If they are not following the standards, what can we do together to make sure that they are lifting up that voice to get the standard of the services that they are required to get? And we have got a report that where they have addressed some of the issues through community dialogues. And we are working with the districts, we are working with the sector government officials, we are also working with the ministries, because we have also done some policy analysis research to see some of the issues maybe that can be underlying under the policy that require some of the advocates or some of the areas where we want to see if there are gaps in this area, what can we do? Is the gap under the policy or under the implementation process? So we are also doing all those kind of interventions, and we are happy that there is a good progress we are making. Yeah, thank you so much. This is the annual report for 2023. This is our strategy we are now coming to the last year in 2025, so we are in the second last year of our implementation of the current strategy, but also this is the overall the information around education and child protection that I have been elaborating more. So this is some of the storybooks that promotes literacy in terms of reading for children, and we have got some significant impact as we do the evaluation and midterm assessment. Thank you so much. Any question, comments? Great. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the stand of Health and the WASH Technical Program. My name is Alois, and we are going to present to you what is being done in the Health and the WASH Technical Programs. The Health and the WASH Technical Program is one of the 4 TPs that has World Vision has. And it has in the strategy as an objective to have children who are well nourished, under 5 children. So the TP has almost 4 key outcomes. The first outcome is all about nutrition, to reduce the levels of stunting, underweight, as well as wasting in under 5 children. The second one is having access of water in households, schools, and the health facilities. The third one is accessing to sanitation in the communities, health facilities, and the educational facilities. And the last one, not least, is promoting the hygiene in the communities, schools, and the health facilities. So through those interventions, The technical programs contribute a lot in reducing starving and other forms of malnutrition in the communities where we intervene. This is the technical programs documents that show what is being done across the country where World Vision is working. And looking at our aim of today, which is enough campaign, it falls under health and nutrition interventions. And in this booklet, you will find that there are several interventions that are made in these interventions. This includes screening of malnutrition in under 5 children, all of them, without letting one outside. And therefore, when we find that there is a child who is malnourished, we make sure that we rehabilitate quickly those children within 12 days. Then after, in collaborating with community health workers, we make sure that those children who are actually rehabilitated, they are followed up in their households until a 1 year course of, and then after, we make sure that we screen every time. We take a time of 3 months. Every 3 months, we make sure that we screen children in the communities to check if there is new cases of malnutrition, and we will start again the screen. The rehabilitation course. And then we don't stop there. We also make sure that we prevent future malnutrition cases by working with our colleagues from livelihood and education, by contributing in home-based ECD implementation in collaboration, of course, with the NCDA. We make sure that we work with the districts, the villages, to make sure that the government's strategy of getting at least 3 home-based ECD in each village, we support them. We empower the light mothers who care for those children. And through that, we make sure that every child who attend the home-based ECD get at least a meal before every day. Yeah, it is a long journey, but we are doing a lot to make sure that the children who attend the home-based ECD get nutritious food when they are in home-based ECD. The other intervention to prevent future malnutrition that we do is that we make sure that every household at least plant 3 types of fruit trees. But also, we are promoting the small livestock in collaboration with our colleagues from livelihood part, especially hens that should, produce eggs on a daily basis to make sure that children are getting at least 1 egg, as it is the national, per day, per day, and then per child per day. Therefore, we have taken advantage on the existing interventions in the country. We are now looking at how we can take over in Umuganda our cultural community works, to take that advantage of the community so that we may start promoting cooking behavior change in our communities, but also to start to make sure that the communities are aware of how to prepare a nutritious food. So through this type of umuganda, we are taking that advantage so that we may promote nutrition in our communities. World Vision is also looking at how we can accelerate the reduction of malnutrition in our communities through a research. This year, we started a research on, egg consumption with the project called the 2Eggs project, which is a kind of trial, a randomized trial research that will take 2 years, so that we may compare if the consumption of animal source food compared to the plant-based food, which is the best to accelerate the reduction of stunting, especially stunting in the country. So results should inform not only World Vision, but also the country as well, so that we may contribute a lot to reduction of the stunting cases in the country. In terms of behavior change, we have several models that we use that I want my colleague to talk a little bit on them. One of what you are seeing here is called WASHUP, which is a model used in primary and ECD schools, so that children may also contribute to. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. As he said, we have different approaches that we use for behavior change depending on the age of the people. This is the WASHUP. It's a child-friendly methodology that we use for kids in ECD and to primary 3. We use this. There is what the teacher used to tell the children. We have also good stories that we use for kids. They are also maths. It's a methodology that facilitates kids to learn through praying. And to summarize what he said, yes, this is a technical program for health, nutrition, and WASH. And we make sure that a child has a good health since when the mom is pregnant. We make sure that the household has water. We make sure that the mother is taught the good behaviors so that he will keep well the kid. Then we go to health center where the mother will give birth. Make sure that the health center has water, but also hygiene and sanitation practices are well done at health centers. Then, when a mother gives birth, after a certain age, the kid go to the ECD. We also have interventions of health, of nutrition, and water also in the ECDs to make sure that where the kid is, it's safe. Then we go to schools because we are sure that after ECD, the kid will be in school. Then in school, we make sure also that they have safe water for drinking, they are practicing good hygiene behaviors, and they have improved sanitation facilities to use when they are at school. It's in that process that we, here in the program, we make sure that a child is safe regarding to health, nutrition, and WASH. During the last 5 years, World Vision facilitated the household, the schools, and health centers to have access to safe water. All the health centers, all the schools, all the households in the areas where World Vision is, they already have access to water. And when you say access to water, is to have water at least in less than 500 meters. In those 5 years, we reached more than 1,400,000 people with access to water. And we have a good system where we measure all the people, where we have geographical data, and we are sure that all these people really have access in less than 500 meters. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. So that concludes our walk through the exhibition. So we would like to kindly invite everyone
to please proceed to your seats as we get ready to get started with the actual official national launch of the Enough campaign. Reka dusabe muri wese asubire mu mwanya twamuteganyirije uberanye n'icyubahiro tumugomba kugira ngo dushobore gutangira igikorwa nyirizina cyaduhurije aha cyo gutangiza ku mugaragaro gahunda ya Enough ku rwego rw'igihugu. So thank you very much, everyone. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning and welcome to the national launch of the Enough campaign, initiated by World Vision, but really a true collaboration with all our national partners, especially the government of Rwanda, in our case, through the National Child Development Agency, and of course through other government agencies as well and ministries, notably the Ministry of Health, the Rwanda Biomedical Centers and Center, and many, many other agencies. Thank you very much. It is my distinct honor to welcome our guest of honor, who is the Director General of NCDA, of the National Child Development Agency, Mrs. Ingabire Assumpta. Can we give her a big round of applause, please? Turabishimiye cyane mwakoze kuza kuyifatanya natwe. We are of course honored as well to be in the presence of our National Director of World Vision Rwanda, Mrs. Pauline Okumu. Can we give her a big round of applause? Turamushimiye cyane umuyobozi wacu. Now we are here, of course. Now, allow me to introduce myself. I have not formally done that. My name is Lion Imanzi, lion like the animal. Imanzi, it's a Kinyarwanda name that I am not going to bother explaining too much, but it does relate to someone who has many virtues. I'll say it like that. I'm a media personality, and as a media personality, I am aware of the importance of raising awareness to the things that matter most and using all possible resources that we have to achieve such goals. And what could possibly be more important than the livelihoods of our children? Nothing can be more important than making sure that no child in Rwanda or the world goes to bed hungry, wakes up hungry, goes to school hungry, or doesn't even manage to go to school because of lack of good nutrition. Now, before we get started, it's just as a way of introduction. As you know, World Vision is a faith-based organization, and we would be remiss to do anything without first and foremost starting with a prayer to make sure that we have the blessings of the Almighty before we do anything else. I would like to therefore call upon Father Augustine to please help us with the opening prayer. Reka tubanze isengesho twiragiza Imana kugira ngo ibyo tukora byose bizabyare umusaruro tubyifuzamo. Murakoze cyane.
Murakoze muhaguruke. Nibyo dutangiye urugendo, n'urugendo twatangiye rwo guharanira imibereho myiza y'abaturage, ariko cyane cyane imibereho myiza y'umwana. Ubu tukaba rero dutangiye Enough campaign kugira ngo turandure burundu ibibazo by'imirire mibi igenda igaragara mu bana b'Abanyarwanda. Niyo mpamvu rero ngira ngo twese dufatanye mu myemerere yacu, turirimba indirimbo idukomeza kandi idufasha mu rugendo turimo. Tuzi twese ko Nyagasani yadusezeranyije ko turi kumwe kugeza igihe isi izashirira, kandi igihe umuryango wa Isiraheli wari mu butayu umaze kubura ibiryo wacitse intege. Urugendo rwo kugana igihugu cy'isezerano bacika intege. Iyo abantu rero bashonje bacika intege, ariko Nyagasani turi kumwe. Isengesho ryacu rero buri muntu asenge umutima we uragiza Imana, werekeza ku Mana, asaba ko abantu babona ibiryo, cyane cyane abana, kuko na Nyagasani ashaka ko abana bamusanga, kandi natwe tukamusanga dufite umutima nk'uw'abana. Ku izina ry'Imana Data na Mwana na Roho Mutagatifu. Niba uhoraho ari amahoro yawe, niba uhoraho ari ibyishimo byawe, komeza inzira watangiye, wicika intege, wahisemo neza, Nyagasani muri kumwe. Nyagasani Mana yacu, wadusezeranije ko uzabana natwe ibihe byose kugeza igihe isi izashirira. Na hano turi kumwe nawe turabyizeye, kandi buri muntu uri hano mu butumwa bwe yizeye ko muri kumwe, cyane cyane mu rugendo twese turimo, mu butumwa turimo bwo guharanira imibereho myiza y'abana, turwanya igwingira ndetse n'imibereho n'imirire mibi mu bana. Ubwo twese rero turi hano turakwiringiye, kandi twizeye impuhwe zawe n'imbaraga zawe. Roho wawe niwe utanga ubuzima. Tuzi ko igihe isi itari ifite isura, nta buzima buyiriho, Roho wawe niwe wayihaye iyi sura tuyibonana, aduha n'ibidutunga. Turagusaba rero kugira ngo ibyo byose mwaduhaye mu butatu butagatifu bikomeze bidutunge, bidutungire abana, babeho neza, bidutere icyizere cy'ejo hazaza, isi yacu irusheho kuba nziza. Twese rero uko turi hano turagushimira, dushimira by'umwihariko abantu bose bagira uruhare mu gutera inkunga ibikorwa byacu. Dushimira na World Vision, tunayiragiza Imana mu buzima bwayo, mu bikorwa byayo byose, kugira ngo ibyo ikora bizagire akamaro Abanyarwanda, abaturage muri rusange. Ibyo tugiye gukorera hano tuzi kuri kumwe natwe, turabigutuye, bize kuba byiza, imyanzuro ivamo izagirira akamaro Abanyarwanda muri rusange, kandi natwe tugusabye imbaraga kugira ngo tuzakore twishimye, twitangira bagenzi bacu. Tubisabye ku bwa Yesu Kristo umwami wacu. Dawe uri mu ijuru, ryawe ryubahwe, ingoma yawe yogere hose, icyo ushaka gikorwe munsi nk'uko gikorwa mu ijuru. Ifunguro dutungura iduhe none, utubabarire ibicumuro byacu nk'uko natwe tubarira abaducumuyeho, ntuduterane mu bitwoshya, ahubwo dukize icyago. Amina. Ku izina ry'Imana Data na Mwana na Roho Mutagatifu. Thank you very much.
Arakuze cyane, Father Augustine. Thank you very much for helping us with the opening prayer. We will say this very much today. Enough is the word, enough is the campaign, and enough is enough. Enough is? I didn't hear you. Enough is? Now, for some people, when they hear the word enough, they feel like, well, it sounds a bit aggressive. It sounds a bit... And if it grabs your attention, then good for you. But we don't mean it that way. We mean children should have enough food to feed themselves. I introduced myself as a media personality. I also happen to be an artist. And whenever I hear a word, it calls to my mind any type of song. So there is a song from an artist from the US called Tracy Chapman. You may be familiar with her. One of her not so well-known songs is called Why. And the first line of that song says, "Why do the babies starve when there is enough food to feed the world?" There is enough food. So where is the discrepancy? We'll get to find out today, because the answer to that very essential question is in this initiative, the Enough campaign. So enough on my end for now. I would kindly like to invite someone who knows way more about this campaign and who is definitely going to inform us a lot about what we are doing here today. She is the National Director of World Vision Rwanda. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Pauline Okumu.
The guest of honor, Madam Assumpta, Director General, National Child Development Agency, NCDA, government representatives from different line ministries, including those from the districts, our development partners, and then we have donors and international organizations, civil society organizations, church leaders, faith actors, our children, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, mrahoneza, amakuru. It's great honor to be with you all today for the launch of the Enough campaign. I think our moderator has elaborated so well what that Enough campaign entails. This initiative is aimed at ending child malnutrition in Rwanda, and today marks a significant milestone in our efforts. As we all know, malnutrition is a silent crisis affecting the most vulnerable amongst us, and these are the children, our children. It stunts their growth, impairs their cognitive development, and leaves lasting scars on their futures. And I want to say that this is a situation that we must confront with urgency, determination, and compassion. Those three factors: urgency, determination, and compassion. At World Vision, just like all of you present here today, we believe that every child deserves to grow up healthy, strong, and full of dreams. This also includes expectant mothers who should maintain their health and nutrition to ensure smooth delivery and a healthy baby. This belief drives our work and fuels our passion. By uniting to end malnutrition, we are fighting for the future of countless children and the prosperity of the nation. We have data, we have statistics that highlights the root causes of malnutrition in Rwanda, and that includes food insecurity, inadequate dietary diversity, poor maternal health, insufficient breastfeeding practices, lack of access to clean water and sanitation. Additionally, socioeconomic factors such as poverty, limited education, and inadequate health services make the situation even worse, particularly in rural areas. Now, the Enough campaign calls each of us to take action and stand in solidarity with those that are affected. Together, we can create a lasting change by ending malnutrition. I remember the DG, when someone said reducing, he said, no, let's just talk about ending malnutrition and helping children grow healthy, and they should thrive. This campaign aligns with Sustainable Development Goal 2, end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture, specifically targeting elimination of malnutrition. I want to take this opportunity to recognize and appreciate the efforts of the government of Rwanda, the leadership, through different line ministries coordinated by NCDA. Also recognize and appreciate the development partners and other stakeholders in addressing stunting. Despite the progress made with stunting rates in children under 5, dropping from 38% to 33%, in the past 5 years, there is still much work to be done. And that's the reason for today gathering and negotiation and talking about what will we do to accelerate and address the work that is ahead of us. Now, through this campaign, we are calling for, 1, allocation of enough resources to ensure effective implementation of food and nutrition policies. Second, comprehensive improvement in prenatal nutrition. I think one of our colleagues spoke about the 2-egg research project that is in a consortium with World Vision, University of Rwanda, and University of Florida, of course with the implementation with RBC. And this is mainly to assess the impact of eating eggs and porridge for the first 6 months, right from the inception. This is just in alignment to address areas of prenatal nutrition, and hopefully with the research finding, we should create a platform within this Enough campaign so that we share the information and possibly take it to scale. The second area, an initiative that we're just embarking on with World Vision, again with RBC, is the baby kit. And this is targeting districts that the uptake of antenatal care services is very low. So the aim is to ensure that mothers are completing all sessions of antenatal care. The third area that we're also embarking on with World Vision, I know she mentioned that in most of the areas where we're working, there is availability of water in those facilities, but we're embarking on others, particularly those that are in districts, areas that the malnutrition rates are very low or standing low. We are connecting healthcare facilities with water. And that is so calling upon all actors here today that we can do much more than what I've just highlighted in the area of improving prenatal nutrition. The third call of the campaign is effective coordination between various actors to eradicate stunting and malnutrition. Very important that we coordinate as champions within like-minded entities to make sure that we are eradicating stunting and malnutrition. The fourth area of call is promotion of platform to gather children's experience to transform the food environment and address malnutrition. Having worked closely with children, they have a voice. And I'm sure in the course of the day, we'll hear them speaking to these areas. So we want to be intentional about creating a platform for them so that we're able to hear their experiences and their contribution towards transforming the food environment. This journey will require dedication, it will require perseverance, it will require steadfast commitment. It's just not a one-off event. But I'm confident that together we can make a significant difference in the lives of millions of children, ensuring they grow up healthy, educated, and empowered. So those are the 3 words you also remember. Children growing up healthy, educated, and empowered. I urge each of you to reflect on the role you can play in this fight against malnutrition. Whether you are a development partner, we need resources. We need to reprogram where necessary. Whether we are policy makers, we need to provide guidelines. We need to promote policies. Whether we are media professional, we need to amplify the issue about nutrition from an informed point of view. Whether you're a faith-based organization, church actors, you have a role to play. Make sermons about this issue. Have ECDs in your churches like others have done. Let's have a platform where we can learn and scale up the good practices. Whether we are a healthcare provider or concerned citizens, your contribution is invaluable. Together we can build a brighter Rwanda where every child has the chance to thrive and enjoy life to the fullest. In conclusion, I express my deepest gratitude to all of you for being here today. There is a reason why you are here, and it's not ending today. We are going to have commitment that we'll work together moving forward for the next 3 years so that we see an end to malnutrition in Rwanda. Your support and your commitment to the well-being of all the children is appreciated. Thank you, and God bless you. Murakoze.
Can we give a big round of applause one more time? The National Director of World Vision Rwanda, Mrs. Pauline Okumu. Thank you very much indeed. Give enough, act enough, pray enough until there is enough. I just saw that in that on that drop-down banner, and it's very telling indeed. It is what we need to be doing. We need to act, and we need to act now until enough is really indeed enough. Now, our National Director just gave us an overview of the very ambitious aims of the Enough campaign. We would like to call upon our Integrated Program Director to give us more details about the campaign itself and its rollout. I would like to kindly invite him to the stage, Mr. Innocent Mutabaruka. A big round of applause.
Director General, NCDA, National Director, World Vision, the government officials present, invited guests, good morning. My name is Innocent Mutabaruka, as the MC mentioned. I'm the Program Director for World Vision. My role is actually to give you a snapshot of what Enough campaign is all about. And the National Director talked about some of these elements, but I just want to walk you through some of the components and how this Enough campaign is designed. The first slide. Yes, Enough campaign was triggered or is anchored around the SCGD, goal number 2, which is end hunger and achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. It's also anchored around the SDG goal 3, which is ensure health, lives, and promote well-being of all the children of all ages. But again, it also aligned to the NST1, which is priority area number 2, which is eradicating malnutrition, as the DG mentioned. So, but at the same time, it also aligns to our strategic objective, which is goal number 3, which is increase in children who are well nourished. So Enough campaign is not coming just in an empty space. It's actually building on other initiatives that have been actually put forward by the government of Rwanda. So it's actually coming to strengthen and accelerate eradicating malnutrition. So when it comes to Enough campaign, what do we mean? We are talking about end child hunger and malnutrition. Another slide, please. So part of what Enough campaign is built on, we looked at statistically from 20 years ago, since 2000. And as World Vision, we kind of paused and reflected. We've been investing a lot in terms of health and nutrition. but are we causing an impact? We actually base ourselves from the National Institute of Statistics report. When you look at from 2000 up to 2005, actually there was a decline in fighting stunting. That is around 48% to 51%. But we see some number of progresses moving towards 2020, where we're actually seeing reduction in terms of stunting. Currently, we are around 30%. But at some point, if as development partners, as agencies that are intervening and investing into fighting malnutrition and stunting, are we doing enough? This is a question for me and a question for you. When you look at those numbers, we are actually 7%. When you actually look at 5 numbers progress we are making, 7%, 6%, 5%. But how can we pause and maybe make a significant shift, maybe from 33% to 10%? So, another slide. So this is our operation area as World Vision. World Vision, we have the physical presence in 14 districts, and we have a full-fledged offices, but World Vision implements its interventions in 30 districts of this country. I just wanted to indicate that. Another slide. So these are strategic focus areas for World Vision. World Vision as an organization, as you heard from the gallery walk, we are ending our strategy. Actually, our strategy ends with NST1. So it's ending this year. This is our final year of our strategy, and we've started the redesigning the second generation of our strategy. But these are our strategic focus areas. We were into health and nutrition. We did a lot in terms of child protection. WASH, we know WASH contributes a lot when it comes to stunting and malnutrition, when it comes to sanitation and hygiene. We are also looking at resilience and livelihood. How are we empowering our communities? We are talking about having enough food, but how are we empowering these communities so that they can continue feeding their children? You heard from the guide walk that some families, some children actually have one meal, but how best can we empower and sustain these families to continue providing for their children? Another strategic focus for World Vision as we end this strategy this year is into education. I think my colleague Egidia mentioned about it. We just wanted to let you know that our strategic focus is into these strategic areas. Another slide, please. So, coming back now to Enough campaign, and that actually speaks to what the National Director was taking us through. Globally, World Vision committed to focus in the next 3 years on reducing hunger and improving nutrition for 125 million children. In Rwanda in particular, we are committed to improving nutrition to 1.5 million children. And it's not World Vision that is able to address and eliminate hunger. We're also going to work with you because there are a lot of initiatives, good initiatives that have been taking place. We talk about Hehe Gwingira, Shisha Chibondo. They are very amazing programs. But one question we would ask ourselves, are we doing enough? Can we pause and reflect? Are the strategies put in place addressing these issues? Why are we still having pockets of malnourished children in some of our communities? So the campaign will be adapted to respond to the country's specific needs, looking at the existing programs like Hehe Gwingira. As the National Director mentioned, this is not new. Most of us here, we've been actually implementing some activities and addressing malnutrition. But this campaign is actually coming to coordinate so that we can actually have one voice, so that we can always together work together to make sure that we sustain these programs, but also review these programs. Are they delivering? Are they impactful? Or maybe there's something that we need to do together. You mentioned about 2 Eggs project that we are piloting with the University of Florida. And I know there's other similar projects from other development partners. But are these programs or projects addressing the issue? Why do we still have children that are having 1 meal per day? So it will also be looking at what is happening, and then World Vision will also work with various stakeholders to raise awareness and accelerate to end chronic malnutrition. We cannot win the game alone. We can only depend on your expertise. I know you have very, very good organizations that are very experienced in nutrition and fighting malnutrition, so we want to leverage on that expertise so that we can actually make a drastic shift. Another slide, please. Yeah, how are we going to move and to make sure that the next 3 years we work together as collaborators, as allies? We are looking at the government of Rwanda. The government of Rwanda has actually initiated and established very good policies. So we'll be working with the government of Rwanda, the Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, in particular NCDA, so that we can also look at how best can we look at the policies. Are these policies working and supporting these children in Nyamasheke, in Rutsiro? Are these policies addressing the issues of malnutrition in Gachenye? So so we'll actually pause and reflect on these policies. Perhaps there's something that we need to do together to make sure that some of these policies address the malnutrition issues. And we are counting on the government because there are a lot of things that we're able to achieve through their guidance. Then another collaborator, the ORI, that we want also to bring into this game of fighting malnutrition is the private sector. Over the years, the development partners, including even World Vision, at some point who have not involved the private sector, and yet they are leading in a number of things. So we're also going to be working with private sector, especially looking at the investing in sustainable food system, promoting nutritious products through fortification. When you look at how many companies, how many agro-industries that are working on food that are of high nutrients. So we'll be working with the private sector to make sure that we also enhance that particular sector so that there's enough nutritious food on the table where even the private sector see it as a business venture. We also, through this campaign, we're going to collaborate and work with the civil society organization and faith actors. As the national director mentioned, the faith actors, they are also in charge of communities. They are church congregations. But how are we tapping into those resources to make sure that they also preach about nutrition and stunting? How about the civil society organization? Most of the civil society organizations are in these communities. Some of them are grassrooted in this local setup. You go to Gachenye, you go to Nyamasheke, they are there. But can't we tap into the resources to make sure that they also amplify this voice? It's not about the government, it's not about World Vision, it's all of us to actually come together and fight this malnutrition that is affecting our communities, our children. We're also looking at the donors. I think it was very clear we need enough food, we need enough funding, we need also need enough technical expertise. We are also calling upon the donor community to make sure that there are programs and policy work also providing financial and technical support to make sure that we are able to make a difference in these people. Media. Media will be our greatest collaborator and partner. When you look at the media landscape in Rwanda in particular, you really find that most of the airtime is actually placed around politics and sports, which is a good entertainment. But how can we encourage the media houses also to invest, to report on nutrition and as well as stunting, because we want to amplify our voices. And we believe that by tapping into this resource, by also working with the community radios, because shortly I'll be discussing about intervention approaches. But we believe that we can tap into these resources, the community radios, the social medias, you know, the media houses, to make sure that the media landscape is also able to help us to amplify this voice, but also to give more airtime on stunting and malnutrition. We're also looking at academia and as well as researchers. We in true partnership with several think tanks and as well as research institutions. The University of Rwanda, we have an MOU with them, but we're also intending to bring on board other think tanks, just to make sure that whatever we are doing isn't informed by the studies. We don't just want to go and intervene just from nowhere. We want to be informed by evidence-based data, so that whatever we are doing is actually informing us where there's a need. So we'll be working with the academia, whereby we are sharing the evidence-based solutions, conducting studies, documenting the best practices. When you look at the statistics, where we came from 2000 today, it's very amazing, it's very encouraging. But is our pace enough to eradicate malnutrition? So we'll be working with the research institution to make sure that whatever we are doing is evidence-based. We're also looking at the celebrities and influencers. We have so many people in the country that have a very big crowd in terms of influencing. We want also to tap into that resource as well. How do we engage the celebrities so that they can also help us to amplify our cause? Because this is not about World Vision, this is not about the NCDA, it's all of us, because at the end of the day, we are also affected in one way or the other. Yeah, somebody was actually challenging us some time back and was telling us that we have increased enrollment in schools. We are over 80% enrollment. But are we sure we are registering the school attendance, which is it's a very impressive 80% and above. But maybe this child is attending his class on an empty stomach. And you can expect, at the end of the term, what you expect from this child. So we want the influencers to help us to reach out to most communities. And it's not even about food production. It's also about food utilization. How our communities, the farmers, the smallholder farmers, also before they take their produce to market, how are they feeding their children? Another slide, please. Yes, so these are our campaign goals. As we were designing this campaign, we said we need actually to set some kind of goals that will guide us. In the next 3 years, we will also be validating, are we making a difference? Are we causing any impact? So one of our goals is to increase public awareness about the causes of chronic malnutrition and possible solution. Then another goal is to mobilize resources and commitment for diverse stakeholders. Yes, we are talking about enough campaign. We are talking about eradicating malnutrition. But saying it is not enough if we don't mobilize resources, be it expertise and as well as funding. We're also talking about advocating for policy change reviews where necessary to support improved nutrition. We have very amazing policies. But how are these policies reaching or trickling down to these children in Nyamasheke or Nyagatare or Gatsibo? We need actually to see how these actually policies are translated in impacting lives out there. Another goal we have is to develop and implement effective intervention across food system and value chain. As I said earlier, we'll be engaging the private sector and business owners. How can they be interested into improving the food system and value chain? When we talk about value chain, we're talking about those food types that contribute to eradicating malnutrition. We're also talking about build a long-term capacity for sustainable and nutritious improvement. Shortly, we'll be diving into our interventions, but these are some of the goals that we gave ourselves to make sure that we're able to make a difference. Another slide, please. Yes, as I said, this is a snapshot of what we intend to do in the next 3 years. Our intervention is actually designed under 3 components. One component is around empowerment. How are we empowering our communities? How are we empowering the smallholder farmers? How are we empowering the pregnant mothers? You mentioned about the project from the national director. We have the baby kits. how are we empowering the pregnant mothers to make sure that they visit the health centers, the session until they deliver? Because we realize that from our initial assessment and from the reports, children are born when they are already stunted. So what we are doing is part of empowering the right holders, the pregnant mothers, the mothers who are primary responsibility of this, and also the primary caregivers, the mothers. Are they able to know how to prepare a balanced diet? That is kind of power within themselves to make sure that they are able to address basic issues of food utilization. But we're also looking at our interventions around solidarity and alliance. The National Director mentioned about working with other people to make sure that we amplify our voices. So we'll be working with solidarity, alliances, networks, intervention, just to make sure that we are coordinated. It's not about investing a lot of resources, but are we coordinated? Are we addressing the issues? Are we also addressing the root causes of malnutrition? That is how we want actually to approach these interventions, but also want to look at campaign interventions. We normally have these, the key moments, the highlights of the year, the International Women's Day, the Day of African Child, the International Rural Women's Day, the Water Day. How are we coming up with and framing some messages around these key events to make sure that we're able to campaign and also come up with very clear and precise messages to some of the people? We also intend to conduct street theaters or maybe road shows where we're actually doing massive campaigns around these key events that happen throughout the year. But the bottom line is we want to amplify our voice. We want to make sure that things actually people are aware of what we're doing. So one, we are looking at the production and consumption of diverse, nutritious food. We're also looking at accessibility and use of bio-fortified crops products. We are also looking at improving coordination mechanism at national and district levels. How are we well coordinated? And recently, we met the Director General, NCDA, and she was actually challenging us around the coordination mechanism. How can we strengthen that platform so that we also hold ourselves accountable in terms of what are we doing? Yes, there are so many partners that are into nutrition and fighting malnutrition, but are we bringing enough on the table? Or maybe we are occupying that space and we don't have significant impact in that space. So we will be challenged, and we believe that by coordinating our efforts and investment, we'll make it there. Then, of course, we're talking about budget allocation for nutrition programs. We are talking about stunting and malnutrition. But when you reflect on some of our budgets, we don't even have, we have not even budgeted for nutrition. We are talking about educating and also empowering mothers, but how is our budget allocation speaking to the commitment at various levels? We're also talking about improved water and sanitation and hygiene services. We know wash services directly impact on malnutrition. And luckily, last year we celebrated as World Vision together with the government of Rwanda, having achieved 100% access to clean water within 30 minutes round trip to 1.4 million people accessing clean water. How can also interest other donors and stakeholders to also to invest in that particular direction to make sure that we have more people having access to clean water? Most of our families, some of our communities are still depending on the pond water, the water that is fetched from the ponds and swamp areas, but how also improve on this sanitation? So basically, these are some of the things, and I think I want to take this opportunity to thank you. We have a very elaborate design, and again, yes, I didn't touch about the implementation framework. In the next 3 years, we'll also be looking at the earmarked, we actually earmarked a number of activities under each year. And one of the year one, which is this year that we are in, we are looking at enough campaign launch, which is today. We're also looking at developing and disseminating campaign communication messages. We know There are a lot of messages out there, but we make sure that we also develop more messages around that. We've already received a number of good messages from NCDA, and we also build on that to make sure that we communicate it. Then again, organize stakeholders workshops to co-create an action plan. This is not about World Vision thing, it's all of us. How can we work together to co-create and make sure that we come up with something that is very tangible, that is also addressing the root causes of malnutrition. We're also talking about conducting research and studies. Of course, if you're not documenting and if you're not conducting and assessing where you are, then you will not know where you're coming from. So we'll be engaging. Then the second year, we're also going to look at supporting implementation of multi-sectoral interventions, that is school feeding programs, agricultural improvement. So we know the number of initiatives, the school feeding programs, Shisha Chibondo, all those are very good initiatives, but how can we leverage on their successes to make sure that we deepen our impact? But also, we are also going to look at facilitating knowledge sharing and collaboration among stakeholders. We need to exchange, we need to talk to each other so that we're able to learn from each other and be able to make a difference in the people. But of course, monitoring, program, and measuring the impact. Above all, in the second year, we are going to pause and reflect on a number of strategies and interventions. Are these strategies working for us? Are they making a difference? Are we reducing on 33%? Or maybe we need to speed up, or maybe we need to inject other things. So we'll be relying much more on M&E processes. As my colleague mentioned in the livelihood, we have what we call the last mile mobile solution. It's an IT system. You don't need to go this paperwork. You need to have just a smartphone on the field and able to capture some of this data that is coming up. Then on the third year, which is the last year, one, we are looking at sustainability and impact. Projects come and go. Enough campaign will come and at some point it's going to be phased out. But is this enough campaign going to be sustained? Have we built enough system in place to continue even when the enough campaign has actually closed? So we're going to look at the sustainability and impact so that it can continue in the lifespan of these communities. We're also looking at showcasing achievement and best practices. There are very good best practices out there. Shisha Chibondo has some very good practices. How can we tap into those and sustain them even beyond the Shisha Chibondo project? Then the third year, we're also going to look at advocate for continued commitment and resource allocation. Yes, if we're talking about eradicating malnutrition, it's not one-time event, it's a process. But how are you continuous facilitating and injecting funding to make sure that it's sustained? Then develop long-term strategies for sustained nutritious security. Of course, we are talking about sustainability component, and I think another slide. Yes. Measurement, evaluation, tracking the key indicators. We have a very robust monitoring framework, and that monitoring framework is going to inform us on the next step, what needs to be done. But the bottom line is, are we measuring the steps we are taking? We are not going to implement randomly. We are going to pause and evaluate. Are these strategies working? What else can we do differently to make an impact? The bottom line is we need to reduce from 33% to 10%. But are the steps we are taking, are they the right steps? Or maybe we need actually to so we have a very strong M&E framework that is going to look at, but what we'll be tracking, we are looking at the reduced prevalence of chronic malnutrition. We're also looking at increased knowledge and behavior change around nutrition. Some of our families, the smallholder farmers, they believe eggs and vegetables are for the educated people like you. But how can they take the produce to the market and also reserve some of them for them, for their children? We're also looking at investment and policy reviews, supporting nutrition. You cannot talk about committed to enough campaign when you're not even investing in that enough campaign. So we'll be also looking at budget tracking, but also looking at the policies, but also looking at strengthened partnerships and collaboration. I think I mentioned it several times. We leverage on expertise, the face actors, the media houses, the policymakers, the government officials, development partners. We are all into this and also strengthening that partnership so that we can be able to make a difference. Lastly, yes, so these are the expected outcomes. I will not maybe go through some of the expected outcomes. These are the outcomes that we'll be monitoring. At the end of the day, have we improved visibility and understanding of the size, dynamics, and specifics of child hunger and malnutrition? These are some of the outcomes that we are expecting to see after the 3 years. Then, more children consume enough nutritious food, provide ethically sustainable and as locally as possible. At the end of the 3 years, we are expecting to have this outcome measured, and there will be very clear indicators around that. Then more teenager girls remain in school with a reduced risk of early marriage or teenager pregnancy, weakening the cycle of intergenerational child hunger and malnutrition. Then the last one, we are looking at the children and families increase access to quality, comprehensive, preventive, and curative nutrition services, including addressing wasting. Another slide? Yes, so thank you so much for your kind attention. It's just to appreciate you. But we have a very detailed design plan that speaks more detail on what I've mentioned. But this is all about us addressing malnutrition together. World Vision does not have expertise. You have expertise, we have some specific expertise, but we believe that together we can make a difference and we can move from 33% to even 0%. Thank you for your kind attention.
Can we give him a big round of applause one more time? A very precise, very concise plan that requires, of course, all of us. We said this is an initiative from World Vision, but it can only come true through the collaboration with all our stakeholders, starting with the government of Rwanda. Not just the government, also regular citizens, but also today we are very excited because to raise awareness, to be able to put the word out there, to be able to tell everyone what is happening and how it impacts us and how we all should be contributing, we have enlisted the help of a brand ambassador. For the first time, we want to try something else, something new. Kugira ngo buri muntu wese amenye gahunda turimo, amenye ko twese bitureba kandi ko twese ari cyo twakora. Twararebye turavuga tuti reka dushake icyo tukunze kwita brand ambassador, umuntu wadufasha kubwijwi Imana yamwihereye rituma yumvikana cyane kuri benshi by'umwihariko urubyiruko. Uyu muvandimwe ntabwo abizi ariko iwanjye ubwanjye buri munsi iyo mbyutse niwe numva. Simwumva ari njye umushizemo. Mwumva ari madamu wanjye umushizemo. Mba niryamye mvuga ngo reka mbe nduhuka gatoya, madamu yatangira imirimo y'umunsi, najya kumva nkumva ngo ni nasiri na Yesu. Ava nanone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very excited. This young man entered the musical scene not so long ago, a few years back, and then he slowly but surely, in fact not slowly, very fast became the biggest star that we have, not just in gospel, in music. He is the only one who managed to fill BK Arena. I don't know if you have been to BK Arena, but he himself, niwe muntu wenyine we cyamamare dufite mu Rwanda, washoboye kuzuza BK Arena ku izina rye bwite, nta wundi muntu wimufashijemo. Twamuhaye amashyi menshi cyane kari we ugiye kuduhagarira, yitwa Israel Mbonyi. Now, Israel Mbonyi, ngwino. Reka mbanze ngusaba imbabazi, indirimbo yawe nari nyishe pe kugira ngo babyumve neza ko wahigere bamereho gatoya bariri imbere bumve kari wowe.
Nina siri na Yesu yanifanya niwe jasiri, kwa amani nayo dhiki yanifanya niwe jasiri, yaniburudisha nikirukaruka, Hosana amen.
Byari bibaye byo abana, you are really wise. Oh yeah, mukomeze muhagarare. In fact, they did what we should have all done. Can we please rise up? This song cannot enter your soul, your spirit. It cannot lift you up if you are seated. Make sure you are also clapping and maybe dancing as well. Do that again.
Nina siri naye Yesu, yanifanya niwe jasiri, kwa amani nayo dhiki, yanifanya niwe jasiri, yaniburudisha nikirukaruka, Hosana amen. Nina siri yanifanya niwe jasiri, kwa amani nayo dhiki, yanifanya niwe jasiri, yaniburudisha nikirukaruka, Hosana amen.
Wow, mumumera amashyi cyane. We are very honored indeed to have you as a brand ambassador, and would like to kindly director to please do the honors tugufitiye impano baguteganyirije. Reka National Director of World Vision Rwanda adufashe, Mrs. Okumu, tugushyikirize iyo mpano, nyuma dufate n'ifoto y'urwibutso. It's a very special gift. All right. Reka babanze bamuhe impano bamuteganyirije, nawe hari ijambo yifuza kutugeraho. So first we will present him with this very special gift from World Vision to formally welcome him as our brand ambassador for the Enough campaign. Amashyi menshi cyane. Now, while we have you there, Director, if you can, we'll take another picture as well with the children. Abana, nimuze mufati photo. Ibyo dukora byose, it's for them. So come and take a picture. Wabimenye. Ariko aho ngaho bantu utari bugaragare neza, jya ku ruhande we. Haguruka nta kibazo uragaragara. Very nice. Oh, tubaha amashyi, absolutely. Thank you very much. Israel, ngira ngo hari ijambo waduteganyirije.
Mwiriwe neza kandi mwaramutse. It's an honor to stand here before you as a brand ambassador of World Vision's Enough campaign. Though I don't like to call myself a brand ambassador of anything, because my calling is I represent God's kingdom in everything I step in. I'm delighted to be a part of this campaign, a critical cause whose vision is to ensure that every child has enough nourishing food to thrive. Malnutrition is a silent crisis that robs children of their potential, their dreams, and their futures. But together, we have the power to change that. It requires us to support programs that provide essential nutrition and healthcare services and empower communities to build sustainable solutions to stunting and malnutrition. I challenge everyone here, every one of us, to open our hearts and to take concrete steps towards a future where every child has enough nourishing food to eat, to thrive, and be able to fulfill their dreams. Let us remember that every action counts, and every person seated in this auditorium today, in their capacity, has a role to play, whether it's spreading awareness, contributing resources, or accelerating efforts already in a place by different actors. We can all play a part in ending child malnutrition. Let us own this campaign and unite in our efforts to make sure that every child has a chance to thrive. My call to everyone here today is to urge us all to be the heart, the hands, and the feet of Jesus in this earth by reaching out to the vulnerable children, when we address child malnutrition, we are doing what God expects us to do and what He created us for. Now, I would like to share a personal story about my relationship with World Vision Rwanda. Long time ago, I don't know if it's a long time ago, 10 years ago maybe, I had an encounter with someone that I don't remember the name, but he was from World Vision. I was young and very passionate, and I had a dream of becoming a musician. And one day I heard on radio that there is a concert that's happening in one of the churches around here, Nyarugenge, and my home is Kimirongo. That time my parents wouldn't allow me to go so much into music because they know I would be distracted. They knew how much I love music. I know if I ask them permission to go, obviously they will say no. I didn't have a ticket to go to the concert, but I had 200 coins in my pocket. That time I made a decision of going to the concert. So my plan was to walk up to from Kimirongo up to the concert here in Nyarugenge, and you can imagine the distance. And at that age, I was like maybe 16, 15. I made a decision, and then when I walked for like 1 or 2 kilometers, I got tired. And obviously I ended up using my ticket, one ticket that I had, 200. The bus took me there to the concert, and in the concert, it was one of my favorite artists. We ended up becoming a friend with that artist now, and I felt blessed. That time, I enjoyed the concert to the fullest. I was very inspired, and my day was definitely made, my entire year. After the concert now, I started a journey of walking back home because I had nothing left. There's no phone calls. I didn't know anyone I can call. I had no friends in the concert, and I started walking down the road. When up to the bus stop, when the bus stopped, a man called me in Kinyarwanda. Aravuga, "We Petit, ngwino hano nkubwire. Come here. Where are you going?" Ndamubwira, I told him I'm going to Kimirongo. What's your name? He didn't know me, and I didn't know him that time. Ndamubwira nitwa Mbonyi. Arambwira ngo, "Have you seen God's miracle in your life?" Ndamubwira, "No." Because I didn't know what he was saying, God's miracle. Obviously, I was a just young kid who go to church every day. I didn't know nothing else. Then he told me, "You are about to see God's miracle today." He told me, come in the bus. Ndinjira muri bus turagenda. He paid my ticket up to Kimirongo. And on the way, he was talking to me, preaching to me. He's a pastor, I believe. agiye gusohoka muri bus, he told me one thing. He told me his names, I don't remember. Arambwira ngo I work muri World Vision Rwanda. And today, you have seen God's miracle today. Now, why did I share this story? I read the quote here that says, give enough, act enough, pray enough, until there is enough. That man gave me 200 coin, but I don't know what could happen to me walking alone at that age from here to Kimbiro. It was a long distance, but he gave me enough for me to be at home safe. Now, I've been a friend to World Vision from the beginning. I'm happy to be back. I'm not new here, and I can't wait to do what I'm called to do here. God bless you. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
We can do better than that. Andi mashimesh cyane. Burya muri World Vision muranerekwa. Wabonye umwana yigendera muravanga one day you will be our brand ambassador. You don't know it yet. Very nice. Thank you very much for sharing. We have much to talk about today, to get to know more, not just about the Enough campaign, not just about World Vision, but about the initiatives that we have as the different stakeholders who are part of making sure that our children have enough to eat, that our children are educated properly, that they are protected, that their rights are protected. So we would like to kindly invite now, we have a panel discussion that is going to be led by Mr. Kondwani Precious Mwangala, and he is the deputy chief of party at Homegrown School Feeding Program. So can we give him a big round of applause? Mr. Kondwani Precious Mwangala.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lyon. Guest of honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As Lyon said, my name is Kondwani, and I have the privilege of hosting a panel discussion. And I will quickly invite the panelists. I will call your name, and when I call your name, I will request you to come up and pick the best seat. And I will probably begin with the most important person on the panel, the reason we do the things we do. And this is a child representative. Her name is Impeta Sonia. Impeta Sonia is in P6. She is at Bright Minds Academy, and her favorite subject is mathematics. Our second panelist is Dr. Karangwa Michael from NCDA. Please come up and grab your spot as well. Dr. Karangwa is the technical advisor responsible for strategic planning. Welcome. Our third panelist is Edith Uwamahoro from RBC. Edith is nutrition technical advisor, and she is actually on secondment from USAID's Chikuriro Kuribosi. Welcome, Edith. Another round of applause for her, please. And we also have the privilege of inviting Josephine Kayumba from UNICEF. Josephine is nutrition specialist. Welcome, Josephine. Last but not least is our very own Teddy Kaweruka from World Vision. Teddy is Strategy and Program Quality Director. Welcome. And now, as I go up, you can also give me a round of applause. As you can see, we have a very powerful panel of experts. And our panel discussion will not be long. We will only have a 30-minute conversation. So panelists, because you already know, I will just say that if you begin to take more time, the lion will act. Yes. But thank you so much for being with us. I think I would like to start with Dr. Michael, NCDA. Would you kindly share with us what the achievements have been in the NST1, which we are currently concluding? Over.
Thank you, moderator. I will move straight to the thematic area you have just mentioned, and achievements of fighting malnutrition and stunting during NST1 period. That's for the last 7 years. That's ending with June this year. But because of limited time, I will just highlight some of the key achievements, because as you know, we have been having a journey together. So most of the achievements we have gone through, as well as the challenges, are well known to many of us. So as some of us mentioned in our previous discussion, number one, officially stunting reduction with DHS of 2000 is at 33%, but more of recent data, as we look at 1,000 days of life, the first 3 years of life, NCDA, together with other sectors under the multi-sectoral plan, has emphasized more on the first 1,000 days. So today we are at 24.2% for children under 2 years. And we think that with the next DHS, which will be documented by end of 2025, we are likely to be around the same. With this, you are aware that with the 7-year program, we are supposed to be at 19%, but there are other macroeconomic issues, including COVID, the recovery period from COVID, economic factors, socioeconomic factors that could have contributed to low rates of reduction, because we have been at around 1.5% per year on reduction. So the marginal reduction rate has not been as anticipated in the 7-year program, but we are happy to be at around 24% for under 2 years. In the next, I will mention it later, but we expect that in the next period, the government is prioritizing unconventional means for accelerated reduction plan, and they have adopted an accelerated starting reduction plan for 2 years, which of course will be renewed to ensure that we achieve the NST2 target. Number two is that wasting in children under 5 years of age has fallen from 8.3 in 2000 to 1.1 in 2020. But when you look at the most maternal and child health week data, which we must rely on, we have impressive results in terms of wasting. Exclusive breastfeeding, as many of you mentioned, which is also a high priority for the integrated approach of World Vision to optimal child development, has been constantly over 80%. For antenatal care visit, when you look at 4 standard visits, we are around 51%, up from 47% in the past 5 years. So we still have a long journey to go here. But when you look at attended bus, we are at 94%, which is very impressive. And the community-based health insurance has ensured sustained access to primary health care services, including vaccination, gross monitoring interventions, including screening, among others. So because of limited time, we overall, NCD under the multi-sectoral coordination has ensured improved access to high-impact, evidence-based integrated child development services, including fortified foods like FBF, milk support, animal resource proteins. You mentioned about the program of 1 egg per child per day program, where we are all, but we're also looking at alternative sources of plant source proteins in the next NST2 period. Yeah, there is also support, which I think World Vision is well aware and is also supporting on the community-based nutrition program, the CBNP, and we are now revamping nutrition centers in all health facilities, including the government support to recruit nutrition specialists. Of course, under WASH, the access to basic sanitation and hygiene services is also a high priority. And we still have a big budget gap, but the government and the partners are mobilizing more to have access to, not only access to clean, but also safe drinking water and improved hygiene services and sanitation at household level, including community-based ECDs and home-based ECDs.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is a clear demonstration, I think, of the successes and progress that is being made. But of course, you are highlighting areas that may require to be reconsidered, and that is something that we'll also look at moving forward. Building to that, I would like now to call upon dear Sonia, and I want you to share with us, when you are at home and time for food comes, what are the foods that you would like to eat but are very difficult to find?
Thank you. We live in the village, so every time we used to eat beans and others. So the food I would like to eat is meat. I like meat more than other food, so yes, I could like to eat meat all the time.
Wonderful.
Other food I would like to eat is fish and the eggs. So let me talk about fruits. At home, we have a garden, so I used to get yellow bananas at all the time, but I can't get apples and pineapples all the time. So I would like to eat them. I used to hear others say that they are delicious, but I would like to taste them. So, even if we live in the village where we grow vegetables, we cannot eat them as much as we can do. That is because people who live in our village, it is not their habit to eat vegetables. Some of them, they don't know that vegetables are very important to fight against malnutrition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sonia. That is a very brilliant answer and straight to the point. The things you have mentioned, meat, fish, and eggs, these people sitting here, they call that animal source protein. So you'll remember that when you go to P7, right? But thank you. She is sharing and tackling important sources of nutrition, not just animal source, but also fruit and vegetables. And I think, in a way, that is a good bridge to the next question that I would like to pose to UNICEF. And so I'll be requesting Josephine to kindly share with us the approaches that UNICEF is promoting to fill the gaps that exist in nutrition improvement in the Rwandan context.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Sonia for her testimony. Yes, thank you. Let me put maybe the situation first of all. So Rwanda is facing the triple burden of malnutrition, meaning undernutrition, that's where we have stunting and wasting. Overnutrition is rising, meaning overweight and obesity. And then the third one being macronutrient deficiency. And among macronutrient deficiency, we are talking about mainly anemia, which is high among pregnant women, among women, and also among adolescents. UNICEF has supported NCDA to conduct drivers of stunting being at 33%, but we also prevent and manage other form of malnutrition. But for stunting, we conducted a study on drivers. And the main factors found were three main I'm going to talk about: the social determinant between poor and non-poor. The other one is the intergenerational factors, meaning if I am a mother and I give birth to a stunted child, she's likely to get another baby with stunted, and again the cycle continues. So that's what we call intergenerational transfer. And lastly, the maternal education, which is among the factors, the years of education for a mother. If you have few years of education, you are likely to also have a child who is stunted. So based on that, UNICEF is supporting the government to strengthen the maternal nutrition program. We are introducing multiple macronutrient supplements under antenatal care so that we can improve the birth outcome, especially on nutrition, avoid low birth weight, avoiding anemia, and also prevent stunting. I think some of the colleagues said there are some children born stunted. So when you tackle the first 1,000 days, starting by the mother who's pregnant, then you have a chance to reduce stunting and other form of malnutrition. Talking about the transfer intergenerational I was talking, so the adolescent girls are the future mothers. So we are also doing awareness on adolescent programs so that we can, as Sonia said, she didn't know which food she can eat, nutritious food. So we are trying to do awareness around nutritious food among adolescents. Specifically, we have seen that 1 out of 4 adolescents are stunted. So if we don't tackle it at early age, then this is an issue. And again, we have also 14% of adolescents who have anemia. So tackling adolescent program is very important. And some of the partners have started because there is also supplementation, iron supplementation starting for adolescent girls so that we can prevent anemia at all age. And not only that, but the nutritious food consumption, as Sonia said. I'm happy that you said that you want to eat meat, you want to eat fish and eggs. So be an ambassador to eat nutritious food, because overweight is increasing, but if you choose to eat ice cream, sweets, and non-healthy food, then you are likely to become overweight or obese. Talking now about animal source food consumption, we are doing promotion of animal source food, and especially, as you said, igi rimwe kuri buri mwana, I think you have heard about it, and buri munsi. So this is egg is one of the most rich in animal protein, which help you to have enough protein for building your body. So this, if you need to be healthy, to be tall, to have brain development, the child has to start eating 1 egg every day per child, and starting from 6 months up to 2 years. So the 1,000 days window period is the most critical. So we started this campaign in 2022 through World Cup in my village. Some of you, I think, have participated. So that's what we are doing, so that we promote protein animal source, because the egg is I may say, affordable, and you can eat it anywhere as a snack. So, Serena, people here, I would like to see the egg on the lunch or on the tea break. Yes, because we are at 7% of consumption of egg, only 7% for children under 2. So I think I like the World Vision intervention on awareness on that. So please, we are happy to work with you. Another one is on peer-to-peer support for improved maternal infant young child feeding, which we are doing. And wherever you have enough food, but people are not doing the right practices in quantity, frequency. So having the peer-to-peer network have shown that you can live from 39% of minimum acceptable diet to 55% and more. Lastly, as we talk about the affordability or food insecurity at household level, UNICEF is doing awareness about food system transformation. We are conducting the food system landscape to see what are the gaps, so that we can identify practical solutions to improve the availability, the accessibility, and affordability for nutritious food. The nutritious food Sonia was telling about us. So how can we do so that it is affordable? That egg or fish she needs, how can we make it affordable so that Sonia and other community members, especially children under 2, can access it? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Josephine. Please, a round of applause. Go ahead. Very amazing and innovative approaches indeed from UNICEF, and really appreciate the collaboration and contribution towards ending stunting and child malnutrition. With that in mind, I want to call upon the attention of RBC now. I mean, while there are various initiatives that different partners are doing, including the development partners, Edith, why don't you share with us the status of nutritional deficiency, especially among women and children in this country? Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that question, all the people has come around that. But in general, what I can share is that Rwanda has made tremendous efforts in improving maternal and child health. Looking at the nutrition deficiency status currently, as the colleagues mentioned, given that improvement, but still, we still have this high burden of stunting, of chronic malnutrition, especially in under 5 years children, where we are at 33% now. Looking at wasting, still is there. Looking at underweight, 8%, it's also still high. Looking at maternal nutrition, the colleagues mentioned about anemia, and looking at the anemia among women of reproductive age, it's also high. It has, yes, decreased when we look at the past decades, but still high. Like 15% of women of reproductive age are anemic. And it's especially worse in pregnant women. Around 30-something, 34, are anemic. And remember, stunting, as Josephine mentioned, it can even start earlier during pregnancy. And an anemic pregnant woman is prone to giving birth to a child who is with low birth weight, who is or she is stunted, and early stunting, it has even increased looking at the DHS data from 2020. Briefly, I could say that, yes, we have made some efforts, and Rwanda is still committed. But again, looking at the chronic malnutrition, and I think that's why we are here. I think that's why Sonia was talking about the dietary diversity. There's still an issue, and we need to put together our efforts to ensure that we have Rwanda free of stunted children. So briefly, I don't want to go in deep as the colleagues has mentioned, but the government of Rwanda, given that, has put in place numerous policies and programs to promote good health, good nutrition among children, girls, and women. Josephine was just talking some of the interventions that the government of Rwanda does in collaboration with different partners, namely UNICEF, World Vision, and others, USAID, etc. So therefore, I would call collaborative efforts and coordination to ensure that leveraging on the government will, the high-level leadership will to end malnutrition, we need to come together, stakeholders, different stakeholders, as someone who presented about the Enough campaign mentioned, looking at government line ministries, the Ministry of Health and different other line ministries, given different partners, private sector, celebrities, as we saw. We need to bring together our efforts so that we have Rwanda free of stunted children. So enough is enough. Hehe ni gwingira. Over.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edith. A round of applause indeed. Thank you. And I think that's a really beautiful summary in a way of calling us to action, collaboration, and working together, because there are still some gaps where we can hold hands and be able to do something. So this leads me to the question that I wanted to put across for World Vision. It has been touched on a little bit, but Teddy, maybe you can just share with us in summary, why the Enough campaign and why does Rwanda need it?
I feel like the why of Enough campaign is explained by the presence of people here. Because if you see the audience, we have the children who are the primary actors in the campaign. They articulated the issues on food accessibility, quality of food. And then we have practitioners in nutrition who are really articulating the different aspects of the issue. We have the media, our friends from media who are amplifying the voice of experts and children. We also have our colleague from faith actors who are here to also to grasp the concept and then disseminate the message when we'll be out of this room. We also have different government institutions here who in their different capacities intervene in malnutrition, being on the side of policy formulation, food production, but also knowledge and dissemination of best practices among children, but also in the maternal health aspect. I would say that Enough campaign is not, I would say, a local initiative. It draws its history from the global campaign World Vision initiated globally. It was launched last year in September during the UN summit. And then after that, it was also launched during the African Union Heads of States. And then other countries also launched their campaign. So it's a global movement, I could say. And different partners are gathered to discuss, but also coordinate the initiative. Because what is clear is that we have people with different initiatives, but those different actors need collaboration, need partnership so that they can gear the initiative to have a proper impact and enough articulated very clearly. The last point is that people in the village, especially children, who are the big beneficiary of the initiative, we still see skill gap in terms of consumption of the proper food. It's not about children, but the entire population needs also to be educated to get the right information of how to use efficiently the resources they have. Educating them is also important, and Enough Campaign will also play that role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teddy. I think that is clear and very understood as to where we are coming from as World Vision and where we think we need to go with this campaign. Now, I did promise a 30-minute conversation. We just have 5 minutes to finish that conversation, but I would like to give an opportunity for one question only from the audience. So be ready if you have that question. The first hand that goes up takes the microphone. As that is happening, in 1 minute, Dr. Karangwa, NST2, what would you say are the 2 key plans that are there?
Yeah, so for NST2, we are emphasizing on 6 key interventions that are under the accelerated plan to reduce stunting, but most importantly is to mitigate the socioeconomic factors that affect the households, where 10 times for children who are stunted are from vulnerable poor households. So I have seen my colleague, the Director of Social Protection. Social safety nets are critical to the reduction of stunting. Number 2 is the life cycle approach that my colleague Josephine just mentioned on adolescent health, preparing women entering into the reproductive age, addressing the issue of anemia among adolescents, but as well as improving maternal nutrition. Number 3 is the multi-sectoral coordination. We have agriculture sector, which have diversified the availability of proteins. We have the water and sanitation sector to improve wash conditions. For your information, waterborne diseases among children under 5 years are number 2 drivers of chronic malnutrition. So addressing water and sanitation is critical, and I was happy to see that it was mentioned under the design of the Enough campaign.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those are the plans we need to be plugging in so that we are seen to fully collaborate and complement government effort. Did we have a hand? All right, there's one hand there, and that is the only one we will take, unfortunately, because we want to make sure we are sticking with our promise.
I'm interested to know how the impacts will be measured, and will it be on a daily basis, monthly, annually, and what tools will be used to measure the impact in terms of the nutrition improvement?
Is this in regards to the Enough campaign?
Yes.
Okay, so World Vision, take that, please.
Oh, we go?
Yes, you go.
Okay. Okay. So we are still designing the entire monitoring and evaluation around the campaign, but of course, other research related to nutrition will also be done. But what is clear is that we have some specific indicator to track related to knowledge, related to the uptake of the services, and also behavior change of people who will be under the campaign. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We can give a hand clap to Mr. Lyon because he has graciously accommodated at least one more question. So thank you so much. And I think I saw a hand from a child, and I think it is important that we give them the mic to hear what their concerns and questions would be. Please tell us your name and ask.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rakos Dismas. I study in Creche St. Andre, Nyamirambo in Siawan. Enough campaign is all about give nutritious food to children or the youth. I want to know how enough campaigns helps in giving nutritious food to students who study in boarding schools. Because nowadays, when you reach secondary after the P6, you are in a boarding school. So I want to know how, because boarding school is our life now. We go there and we spend 3 months there. So out of 12 months of the year, 9 of them is spent at school. So I think it is important for enough campaign to be in boarding schools so that it can help us who are there. Thank you.
The children have spoken.
Yes.
World Vision. What do you say to that? It's a direct question to the strategy. All right. There is one question from the director there. Go ahead, and then we'll just close with that one. Thank you.
It's not a question as such. It's just a small comment. I think Dr. Karangwa highlighted the contribution of some of our programs, including the safety nets. So we have a program called the Nutrition Sensitive Direct Support, also contributing or supplementing to other existing programs, especially to fight malnutrition. Like this FBF, the fortified blended food. So this is a cash transfer implemented by LODA, Local Administrative Entities Development Agency, which is an agency affiliated to the Ministry of Local Government. So this cash transfer is also contributing to fight against malnutrition and stunting. It's a regular cash transfer that is targeting pregnant and lactating women from poor families. So we normally give 30,100 francs on a quarterly basis, just to supplement, as I said, to the existing initiatives. We also ensure that we encourage or motivate or mobilize these beneficiaries to uptake health services, including the antenatal care and postnatal care and vaccination for the children. And the targeted group is, as I said, the pregnant and lactating women, but also kids under 2. So we are confident that with all these initiatives, we will really achieve the planned or the set goals. So I would also like to highlight or commend the World Vision contribution towards the implementation of the National Sustainable Graduation out of Poverty. World Vision is really playing a very critical role in different interventions through the implementation of this strategy, and we look forward to strengthening that existing collaboration and ensure that we really fight poverty, because poverty being one of the root causes of malnutrition and stunting. I do recall that His Excellency even mentioned that we should give it a priority, because if we don't really fight stunting, we would end up having a stunted country, which we really don't wish. So I thank you very much, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that comment. The key message being ending stunting and child malnutrition, and it's a concerted effort. And thank you for that contribution. I think on behalf of World Vision, I appreciate the question that has come from our child representative. I'm sure World Vision, you have homework there to think about. They've given you something to think about, and the children will be expecting feedback from you.
I would say that the homework is shared homework, because this school feeding program is, so many partners are in, but also people need to understand how it works, so what are the gaps, and then how people can improve it, because it seems that from the child representative, there is a need for improvement.
Yeah, thank you very much. With that, many thanks to my dear panelists. Thank you very much for all the input you have provided. And thank you to the audience for taking part in this as well. My name is Kondwani, and it has been great hosting you. God bless you.
We can give them a big round of applause one more time to all the panelists, and most specifically Mr. Kondwani, who helped us in moderating this discussion. Thank you very, very much. Now today, we just saw it in our panel discussion with one of the children who are here making an intervention. We heard earlier as well many references to the children. And as we started, I made many references about songs. I told you about Tracy Chapman. We talked about Israel Mbonyi. I'll make another reference. Another one of my favorite songs is a song that was popularized by Whitney Houston, but in fact, it is a George Benson song that's called The Greatest Love of All. And the beginning of that song says, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and treat them well and let them lead the way. Now, clearly, our children are very well educated, given the way they are presenting themselves, the way they are communicating, and we are just about ready to get some more of that communication from the children themselves. They are going to play a skit for us, and I believe after the skit, they will have a very specific message to give us. So without further ado, I would love us to give a big, thunderous round of applause to the children who are going to play for us today. Amashyi menshi cyane, ibi byose dukora nta kintu byageraho abo tubigenera, abagenerwabikorwa tutari kumwe ngo nabo batubwire ibitekerezo byabo. Reka tusaba abana batugezeho umukino baduteguriye, nyuma yaho batugezeho n'ubutumwa bifuza kugeza kuri twe twese tuteraniye hano. Murakoze cyane.
Murakoze. Nitwa Saidi, naturutse mu karere ka Gatsibo, umurenge wa Kiramuruzi. Ndi kumwe na bagenzi banjye twabateguriye umukino witwa Enough, aho muza kubona umuryango ubana n'amakimbirane n'undi muryango ubanye neza. Reka mbareke mukurikirane umukino.
Ase ngoboka kurira wabaye iki? Ngobo kubyutsurira wabaye iki? Mama, uzikarije muntu.
Ni wewe gwanguki?
Nije muntu mugufi mu kigo.
Hako se none mana yanjye. Ngo ni wewe muntu mugufi mu kigo?
Nagwingiye.
Waragwingiye? Ako ikibazo ni papa wawe. Nese ko nutuboga twose twijyanira kwa murokore.
Ariko se mama, ubuzima buzakomeza gutya mpaka.
Aho noneho nawe nyumvira. Buzahinduka. Ariko se mama.
Manyinya. Ariko nagorwa yewe.
Mugende.
Murambonera da, ubu bicaye birimo biramvuga. Nyiramiro. Uri mu Nyiramiro?
Nabana naganiriza.
Nijya muri kuvuga.
Oya.
Nijya muri kuvuga. Nijya muri kuvuga. Nijya muri kuvuga. Nijya muri kuvuga.
Siga wa mugabo we nta mugabo ugikubita umugore muri iki gihe.
Urugo rwanyu rwajyaga ruhoramo intonganya tutazi ko abana banyu bagwingiye. Batubanze tugupime turebe.
Uyu mwana wanyu afite imyaka ingahe?
Afite imyaka 4.
Imyaka 4 akaba angana gutya.
Dore muhakigoye umutuku umwana wanyu yaragwingiye. Nubwo bwose muvuga ko afite imyaka 4 aragaragara nk'umwana w'imyaka 2.
Yo, babyeyi, biragaragara ko umwana wanyu afite ikibazo cy'igwingira byatewe n'imirire mibi. Tuzirikane guha abana bacu indyo yuzuye.
Yego turabikurikirana.
Wow. It is better to get a family
When
that
I
cannot
was
have
walking,
a conflict. So
I
I'm
see
trying to
knowledge.
prepare
I catch it. I fall down. I call my mommy. My mommy
a breakfast
lives.
of my
I call
family
my teacher.
because
My
it
teacher
helps us
pull me, catch. Wait, what you was doing there?
It's a secret.
A secret you don't tell your sister. What secret is that?
Let me tell you the truth. I was record you.
That thing don't have, you are doing things which don't have importance.
Okay, I think, please don't waste my time. I can go to take breakfast.
Okay, it's all
Follow
right.
me.
Wow. Morning.
Morning,
How are you?
We are all right.
Yes, down and take your breakfast, and then after try to prepare how to go in the school. Yes?
Yes.
So take it. Wow.
Oh, I have men active today.
Morning, my husband.
Morning, my wife.
How are you?
I am fine.
So try to get in order to take a breakfast, and then after come here in order to bring
Yes,
my
I'm going to
children in
bed.
the school.
I'm going to Beth and I coming to go at school.
Yes. Have finished?
Yes.
Yes, stand up, please.
Have you finished?
Yes, you are finished.
We can go at school.
Yes, bye.
Define for me AIDS.
I don't know.
If you don't know, I can explain. Mukarukundo, kuri murasinzira.
Iwacu twaburaye.
Mwaburaye nane ucaye mwabonye cyangwa se ifiriti?
Oya.
Sorry.
Goboka, wabaye iki?
Iwacu twaburaye.
Na breakfast wafashe?
Yeruka mfite ukwezi kumwe.
Karabaye ibyawe ndi kumva bitangaje.
Good morning, teacher. We are all right, thank you, teacher.
Okay, sit.
Thank you, teacher.
So, today we are going to learn about malnutrition diseases. Who can tell me what malnutrition diseases are?
Malnutrition diseases are diseases caused by lack of vitamin, proteins, and carbohydrates in our body.
Okay, thank you. So, who can tell us the main causes of malnutrition diseases?
The causes of malnutrition diseases is lack of balanced diet in families.
Okay, thank you. Another?
Conflicts in families.
Explain.
When a father and a mother have conflicts between themselves, like when a father earns money and take it in the bar or uses them in worse things, they can't be able to take care of their children or give them balanced diet.
Okay, thank you. Another?
Polygamy. When a father has many women and get many children, don't have money to care of them.
Okay. So, we are going to look on the consequences of malnutrition diseases.
Disability.
Poor performance in class.
Death.
Okay. So, we have seen the main causes and the main consequence of malnutrition diseases. So, we are going to look how we can prevent those diseases.
Supporting breastfeeding for 6 months for the babies.
Thank you.
Teaching parents how to prepare a balanced diet for their children.
Encouraging parents to live in peace.
Okay. So, who can remind us what we learned in National Campaign Against Malnutrition?
We learned that we need parents, teachers, government agencies, and development partners to ensure children
like me
have enough. Heri gwinjira. Ariko se mama, ubuzima buzakomeza gutyo mpaka. Murakoze, muri mu kinyana kinye nitwa Nyirarukundo, ariko ubundi ubusanzwe nitwa Rurangirwa umurazana we.
Mama uzikaye mwana mugufi mu kigo.
Murakoze, muri uyu mukino nakinnye nitwa Ngoboka, ku busanzwe nitwa Metusera. Murakoze.
Who can remind us what we learned in National Campaign to End Malnutrition? Murakoze, nakinye ndi teacher, ako mu busanzwe nitwa Metasoni.
Wow, it is better to get a family without have a conflict. Murakoze, nakinye nitwa Madamu Nakiwa, ubusanzwe niko Dushimimana Divine.
Nyiramiruho. Murakoze, muri mukino nakinye nitwa Cyaka, amazina yanjye nitwa n'ibishoro byose muyize. Murakoze.
Ariko Nyiramiruho naragowe n'utwo tubonetse twose atujyana kwa Murokore. Murakoze, muri uyu mukino nakinnye nitwa Nyiramiruho, mu busanzwe nitwa Gisubizo Hamida. Ariko se mama, ubona nziga bikamanini. Murakoze, muri uyu mukino nakinnye nitwa Mukatete, ako ubusanzwe nitwa Gihozo Neri. Murakoze. Mufatanye mugaburira abana indyo yuzuye. Murakoze, nakinnye ndi umujyanama w'ubuzima, mu busanzwe nitwa Gasaro Lucky Ornella.
Dore muhakigoye mutuku kubera kudahereza abana banyu indyo yuzuye. Murakoze, muri uyu mukino nakinnye ndi umujyanama w'ubuzima, ariko mu busanzwe nitwa John.
supporting breastfeeding for 6 months for the babies. Murakoze na kinyanitwa Gasaro nandi ritwa Sheja Liane.
Ana breakfast wafashe. Murakoze muri no mukino na kinyanitwa Ganza amazina yanjye mu buzima busanzwe nitwa Manzi.
babyeyi twibuke guhereza abana bacu indyo yuzuye. Murakoze nakenye ndi umujyanama w'ubuzima ubusanzwe nitwa Françoise Tuyizere.
Morning my wife. Murakoze nakinye nitwa Kamari ariko ubusanzwe nitwa Habumugisha Saidi.
Thank you for listening to us. Have a good day. Hehe nigwinjira.
Twabahaye andi mashyi menshi cyane. A big round of applause one more time. Thank you very much, children. Nk'uko twabibateguje, as we had previously said, after this little sketch, the children also have a message that they would like to deliver to this beautiful audience here. And to do so, we will enlist the help of one of them. Reka dusabe umwana wateganyije ubutumwa afitiye abateraniye aha yitwa Umuraza Noella Rurangirwa. Tumuha amashyi menshi cyane. Big round of applause for Noella. She has a message for us.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rurangirwa Umraza Noella. I'm 12 years old and from Gatiwa district. Today, I'm here with other children from Rwanda to talk about something very important, ending child malnutrition. On behalf of the children from our communities, we are here today at the World Vision Rwanda's Enough campaign launch to call to action to end child malnutrition. We are here today to present a call to action to end child malnutrition and share with you some of the pressing issues affecting us as children. We will also share some recommendations about how these issues should be addressed so that children can live life to the fullest, and these include the following. Issue number 1, lack of balanced diet meals at home and school. We want to talk about how some children in Rwanda are not getting enough healthy food to eat. This affects their health and stops them from growing well. Sometimes parents grow healthy food that our bodies need, but they end up selling it and leaving nothing for the children. Recommendation: teach our parents about healthy, nutritious food and how to get it. Help parents in the communities to learn how to prepare healthy meals and a balanced diet for us as children. Ensure that schools provide school meals, but also make sure that those meals comprise a balanced diet. Sensitize parents, schools, and caregivers with information and practices about nutrition. Make sure there is clean water for us to drink every day. Issue number 2, teenage pregnancies. Many girls experience sexual violence, which has led to many teenage pregnancies and the girls being chased from home. The girls are usually forced to leave home and start fending for themselves, which they can't afford because they are too young. Therefore, they can't afford food for themselves and their children. Recommendation: ensuring access to information on reproductive health education for teenagers, youth, parents, teachers, and community leaders. Supporting children who have dropped out of school to access opportunities such as vocational education, where they can acquire other skills that can earn them money to meet their basic needs, such as nutritious food. Several punishments for men who make young girls pregnant. Issue number 3, poverty at home. Many of our families in the communities live in poverty, therefore they have limited resources to buy nutritious foods. Some households have more children than they can feed, and some parents also abuse alcohol. Recommendation: avail opportunities for our parents to work and earn a living so they can take care of us and provide balanced diet meals for us and their children. Support our parents with training on large-scale farming and improved agricultural practices that will lead to increased food production so there are enough nutritious foods at home and for the market. When we say teach, sensitize, help, we want to mean government agencies, NGOs, and all development partners. Conclusion: I want to be ahead of social affairs when I grow up, but I can't achieve my dreams. But I can't achieve my dreams with the burden of malnutrition because it will affect my growth and my potential. Help us to achieve our dreams like you have. We hope that each one of you is going to take action to make sure that every child in Rwanda has access to enough nutritious food to help them thrive. With your collective support and action, no child should suffer from malnutrition or stunting. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.
Can we give her a big round of applause one more time? You know, you are 12 years old, correct?
Yes.
Do you know what I was doing at 12 years old? Not this. I was not speaking in front of people. I was probably stealing my father's eggs. Now, this message, she would like to kindly deliver it to our guest of honor, if you do not mind. Reka tujyane, twegere umushyitsi wacu mukuru tumugezeho ubwo butumwa. Harya ngo kwinjira muri guverinoma bisaba imyaka ingahe? Wamuha akazi ntiyabagize neza, ariko nabanze yige. Thank you very much, Noella. Thank you so much. Can we give her a big round of applause one more time? Now, as we begin by saying, we are very honored indeed to have our guest of honor, who is the Director General of NCDA, the National Child Development Agency. And we would like to kindly invite her to give us her remarks. A big round of applause for Mrs. Ingabire Assumpta.
Thank you, Lion. National Director of World Vision Rwanda, dear representative from ministries and public institutions here present, dear development partners, representative of civil society organization, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Mwiriwe neza. I'm happy to be with you today at the launch of Enough campaign by World Vision Rwanda aimed at eradicating child malnutrition in our country. I would like to express my appreciation to the strong partnership and collaboration between World Vision and Government of Rwanda. Over the years, this partnership has yielded substantial benefits across various sectors of development, particularly in child development. regarding child development, promotion, and protection, the NCDA, in collaboration with World Vision and other key stakeholders, is ensuring that children have access to child-friendly and conducive learning environment. These environments include play-based resources in early childhood development settings, as well as training for both parents, guardians, and caregivers. In addition, we are working closely to support vulnerable families, helping them to graduate out of poverty through sustainable programs, as we have seen during the visit of exhibition there. In healthcare services, the government has witnessed the rehabilitation, expansion, and establishment of decent facilities to promote healthcare services for both mothers and children. This collaboration has significantly enhanced the quality and accessibility of healthcare, ensuring that mothers and children receive the care they need to thrive. We recall with great pride your collaborative intervention with the LODA that have significantly improved access to water in communities, enhanced child nutrition programs, and reinforced child hygiene and sanitation services. Today's event, the launch of the Enough campaign, marks another significant milestone in our shared commitment to child development. This initiative aligns properly, as the National Director mentioned earlier, align properly with the NCDA mandate to foster the growth and well-being of children. It is also complementing other government intervention aimed at the holistic development of our young ones. Through collaborative efforts and dedicated programs, we are taking substantial steps toward ensuring that every child has the opportunity to thrive in nurturing and supportive environment. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to World Vision for consistently aligning its interventions with our government program and the strategies, ensuring a unified and effective approach to tackling child malnutrition and promoting sustainable development in Rwanda. NCDA recognizes that proper nutrition is foundational to a child growth, cognitive development, and overall health. I want to assure you that World Vision and other partners, organizations, that government of Rwanda will continue to collaborate with you. We are committed to providing and varying support to ensure the success and sustainability of this vital partnership. We will not spare any effort to make this collaboration fruitful and impactful. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Rwanda, under the leadership of His Excellency President Paul Kagame, is committed to eradicating child malnutrition and stunting. As we launch this campaign today, let it serve as a wake-up call to all of us. This event is not just a formality, it is a call for action. Each one of us here has a role to play in making stunting an history in Rwanda. Let us leverage our collective strength, resources, and commitment to ensure that every child in Rwanda has enough nourishing food to thrive. Together, we have the power to create a brighter, healthier future for our children. Let us act now to make this vision a reality. I'm confident that this campaign will contribute to the existing government effort of eradicating malnutrition and stunting among children. I look forward to the work ahead and the progress we will make together. Together, we can get enough animal source protein, enough eggs, enough nutritious food, enough ECDs, enough feeding knowledge and practices and positive parenting among parents and communities, enough resources, enough partners, enough stakeholders. I now declare the Enough campaign officially launched. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A big, big round of applause for our guest of honor. Now, we would like to invite you to please stay with us because we would like to, as you said, it is now officially open. We would like to kindly ask our national director to please join us and officially hand you over the launch book or the launch document, however we want to call it, to symbolize the beginning, the official beginning of this beautiful, beautiful campaign. Amashyi yanyu rwose arakenewe. Big round of applause. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you very much. We also have a gift for you as well, besides this. So we are keeping it close because we are going to take a few pictures with the book, but we would like to show our appreciation. It's a little token of our appreciation, an accolade, if you will, to say thank you so much for your partnership, for your continued support, and for everything you do to elevate the livelihoods of children. Andi Mashimesh Chane, please. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to kindly still ask you to stay with us because we have, I would like to invite a few of our VIPs to join the picture. These two tables over here, if you can please join us, as well as Father, if you can also join the picture. Yes, please feel free to join. All of us, please come. By all of us, I mean these two tables right here. There you go, please join us. On both sides. Thank you very much. All the children. Now we also have, I would like to also call your attention, at the back of the room, we have this big board that says Signature Campaign. So today we have listened, we have heard extensively about the program. Once we are done with the pictures, all of us will go and commit to being part of this program by signing that board at the back of the room. Abana twese twerekeza amaso hano kwa photographe and give us a big winning smile. So we would like to also kindly invite our faith leaders to please join us for a picture. Faith leaders, namwe mwaza, you are most welcome. We absolutely need you. Your contribution is critical, and we want to to mark your presence here as, of course, a sign of approval and collaboration in this ongoing campaign, as you always do, of course. njya numva ngo iyo ufite Yesu mu buzima bwawe ngo uramwenyura ntabyo turi kubona neza ongera ufate indi foto tugaragaza ko Yesu agira neza. Thank you very. So the international and civil society as well. So we need the international and civil society. If you can please join us as well. And then from there we can go at the back and start signing in the private sector as well. And sign the signature campaign. The private sector, the international and civil society. If you can please join us as well. This is a campaign that is going to require all of us, all hands on deck. Mbere yuko mugenda turabasaba yuko tushiraho umukono hariya twateganyirije kuri signature campaign. It's a way of committing kugira ngo mugaragaze yuko turi hamwe, turi kumwe. Kandi turabisobanukiwe neza, ni nayo mpamvu turi hano yuko uruhare rwacu twese rukenewe kugira ngo gahunda yaduhurije aha tuzashobore kwishyira mu bikorwa neza. Thank you very much indeed. I think we are done with the pictures, if I am not mistaken. So we would like to kindly invite our national director and our guest of honor, if you can sign for us the signature campaign board. And then after this, we are going to share lunch. So we want to make sure that you don't leave. Nyuma y'iki gikorwa, nyuma yo gushyiraho umukono ari habugenewe, turi buze kugana aho baduteguriye ifunguro, nabyo turabibagezaho mu mwanya utarambiranye. So please join us, everyone. You can join us and put your signature on the boards. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. It was indeed an honor and privilege to be with you today. Mu mwanya turaje dusangire iryo funguro, ariko reka tubanze dushyireho umukono tugaragaza yuko twese twifuza kugira uruhare muri iyi gahunda. So if you are signing, we would kindly also appreciate if you could tell us which institution you are from. So if you can put your name, signature, and then which institution you are from, that would be greatly appreciated. That way we will know where to turn for your contribution. And of course, know exactly what we can do all together to end child hunger, malnutrition, and stunting. Now the board is big, so spread out, spread out. You don't have to sign in the same corner. Go in the middle, at the sides, anywhere. We want to be seated full of signatures and names. And the organizations and institutions you come from. Ushiraho umukono wese atwandikiye izina naho akora, ikigo akorera kugira ngo dushobore kumenya abo turi kumwe no gukomeza gukorana neza muri gahunda nziza ya Enough. Thank you, DJ. You know it's that time of the day. Nitumara gushiraho umukono. As we started, we're going to end with a prayer. So as soon as you're done with the signatures, we'll invite you to come back so we can pray first and then go to lunch. Come on, hang out, DJ. Very nice. Give us that good ambience. Loving the music. It's a celebration. Invite you back at your seats so that we can pray before we go to lunch. Mumaze gushyiraho umukono turabasaba ko twasubira mu byicaro byacu kugira ngo dusozanye isengesho kuko twaritangiranye. Oh, yes, there is a party. Keep it up, DJ. Keep it up. Abamaze gusinya reka dusubire mu byicaro byacu kugira ngo dusozanye isengesho. So before we go to lunch, we're going to end with a prayer as we started with one. All right, DJ. Thank you so much. Can we have everyone's attention? Reka tubasabe tubanze twumvikane. We'll continue with the signing. Reka nsabe Pastor Eugene adufashe ku isengesho. Nyuma ifunguro turayifatira muri tent. So we are going to pray. After the prayer, if you have put your signature on the signature campaign board. We will kindly invite you to proceed to the tent that is right adjacent to this hall. This is where we are going to take lunch. Thank you so much. Reka tubasabe dutuze. Where you are standing, let's pray.
Reka dusenge Imana. Mana isumba byose. Turagushimiye umwanya mwiza waduhaye. Kandi turagushimiye, dushimira n'aba division ndetse nabo turi kumwe bose wafashije, wakoresheje, washoboje kugira ngo twongere twibuke ko dukwiriye kwita ku bana waduhaye. Turagushimiye ku byo twiyemeje, ku ngamba twahafatiye kandi ku byo tugiye kugishyira mu bikorwa. Udushoboze ukuboko kwawe kwiza kubane natwe mu nzego zose uko twicaye aha ngaha. Urakoze kubyumvise, tubyambaje mu izina ry'umwami wacu Yesu Kristo. Amen.
Absolutely. Amashyi menshi cyane ko Imana irayakuye kurusha twebwe. Muri uyu mwanya rero DJ komereza aho ngaho tumuziki. Reka tubasabe twerekeze mu gisharagati giteganye n'aha ngaha turi kugira ngo dusangire ifunguro. So once again, let's go for lunch. Lunch is in the tent adjacent to this hall. Thank you everyone for your presence. Thank you very much.